All right, so starting with the tour, here's kind of my view of everything. So we've got our rack station over there, which I'll go through in a different video. There's a lot of cool stuff in there. I've got my computer, which is connected to the mixer, and that's how I play music through the ears into the recording. And then I've got this Roland SPD machine, which I haven't actually used yet in any of these recordings, but that's connected to triggers, and that's mostly what I use it for, and then the pads for effects as well. So the drum triggers, I've got a snare drum trigger here, and then a bass drum trigger right there. So those both connect to the Roland machine, and I've got effects on both triggers for a lot of the songs that we play live with Savvy. And yeah, so the bass drum triggers mostly gives it a like kind of a clicky sound, because it's hard to get that, unless you have two bass drum mics, hard to get that, like that impactful, that beater sound. And then of course we've got the snare drum. This is a Pearl free floater. They said it's a 6-inch. It's really, the shell's about 5.5 inches, but with the bass it makes it about 6 inches. It's great. Love it so far. And then for my hats, I'm using the Sabian XSR hi-hats and the whole cymbal package, actually, with the exception of this guy. Got a nice Meinl splash there on top of the hi-hat, and then I've got a Stag China crash, which I love it. And then for the toms, so these guys are Yamaha Maple Custom Absolutes. One's a 10x7, the other's a 12x8. So a little shorter, which I like. They're a little faster. They sound amazing. And then for my bass drum, this is a 1986 Yamaha Recording Custom 22-inch bass drum. And it was, unbeknownst to me when I bought it, it was actually made in the same month and year that I was born. So that's kind of cool. And this is the floor tom that comes with that kit, 1986 16-inch floor tom. So that's what I'm using. And then hardware-wise, that's a big thing. So I'm using the rack system. So everything connects to this rack that I've got. So all the cymbals mount from the rack, which sits over the bass drum. So there's very little footprint. Even my snare stand down here, I'll try and get a good shot of that. My snare stand is a free-floating, well, not quite free-floating, but single pole stand, so I've got plenty of room down here. I'm using the Yamaha double kick pedal, and then I've got a Pearl Eliminator hi-hat stand, and of course a stick carrier mounted in case I drop a stick. And then mic system, these are what I use for practice and whenever we play live. I'm using the Shure Beta 56As. You can see there. So they clip on. I've got the Shure clips to clip to the snare and the floor tom, but I found when I clipped them to the toms, it was making them not resonate very well. So I actually have a bracket mounted to the rack that supports those tom mics, so there's nothing mounted to the toms themselves. Pretty sweet. The rest of the XSR cymbals, I've got the 20-inch ride, 16-inch crash. I already told you about the China. 18-inch crash ride, 14-inch, and then got a 10-inch splash here. And of course my 6-inch splash, and then the hi-hats already went over. So that's my setup, and I love it.